Gamerdude 2088, and welcome back to episode 4. I think it's 4. I've been just pumping these out. Back to square 1.1, where we're about to dive into this early game progression, grab it by the balls, yank them. Okay, we're not going to do any of that, but we're going to get you out of early game. That's what we're going to do, people. Okay, today we are going to talk about the daily missions and challenges. Mount Right Ruggan, Carl's Dungeon, Your Island. Specifically, I forgot. But hopefully I jog my memory by the time we get to that portion. And events. Okay, so let's start with the daily missions and challenges. Let's go to the challenge log under daily mission. Now you get 11 of these, 12 once you get this area called the Rift of Worlds open. I believe it's after the dimensional. No, I think it's it is the Rift of Worlds. Yeah, because you gotta be able to do the raid. But that's later on. Don't worry about that. Alright. The first one here says use 20 energy. That's not a problem. After you use 20 energy, bam, done. You get those 3 crystals. This one, power up monsters 3 times. If you watch the first video, you should understand what powering up monsters, somewhat what it's supposed to be about. And then we have summon monsters 3 times. That shouldn't be difficult. Unknown scrolls, easy. Power up rooms 3 times. That's no problem. You can easily power up new rooms, shit rooms, good rooms, bad rooms, whatever. And send social points to 5 friends. Okay, this one in particular, we're going to come back and talk to. That and show your friendship. We're going to come back to that. Fight an arena 3 times. Well, after the arena's open, you should be able to fight in it, and that should be a problem. Clear all daily missions. Well, yep, the fighter wants to clear all the daily missions. Then you have the giant killer, which is to clear the giant's keep 1 time, and then to clear the magic dungeon 1 time. Now for the build your friendship and show your friendship, this one is going to require you to use the nice little chat at the top of the screen. Really, all you got to do is go in there, and this is what I did in particular for this account in this video. I said, did I say need, and it should automatically pull it up once I start typing. Okay, need friends to complete daily quests, because you need this to be able to complete your daily quest. So when you first start the game, you don't have any friends. So this is all I did, was to type this in the chat. Some people will add you, some may not. And then you can also always tap on somebody's name and just send out a friend request. Since this person's list is max, so that's not going to work. You can try that person, bam, request sent, and you can just pretty much spam it to whoever on the list. And if they accept you, good. If they don't, okay. You just can always go to the top here where it says channel, and you can change your channel from 1 to 9,999. Generally, the lower channels are the ones that usually have people in them, and some of the higher ones are usually channels people use privately for like streams and such and things like that. Like my channel happens to be 2088, because I'm the Gamerdude 2088. Okay, moving on. So you can just type in like 112 or 101, stuff like that. Just like around those areas, generally there's people in those chats. And if not, you can just always go to another one. So once you got at least 5 friends, you're able to complete this. Then you got your show your friendship, where you just got to use your friends rep 3 times. I believe it works for the mentors. Those reps count as well. So all you got to do is just go in here and fight, and then you're pretty much set. Now let's go in, and I think that one of those people just added me too. Look at that, bam. Simple as that. And so let's go to the challenges. Now the challenges, this opens at level 8 as well as the Giant's Keep and everything, and you're able to do everything but this one, because this one requires you to clear Mah-Lon, which is different. But the first one that opens up is the monster training. The Summoner's Way is always open. This is just a little progression of what you're doing in the game, and you get rewards from it. So let's see here. Attack type monster level 15. So reach level 15 with an attack type monster. So it's going to be a while before we reach that level to do the monster training, and I'm sure it's going to be our Magic Knight Lapis. She's currently level 9 and she's attack type. So let's go ahead and talk about the types. You have a few different types. This one's being support. Got anything different? We have an HP type here. But basically you have attack, HP, defense, support. These are your 4 types that you will generally have in the game for all the various monsters. So keep that in mind, and based off of the type is how their stats scale. So attack types generally have higher base attack. Defense types generally have higher base defense. HP types generally have higher base HP, and support types can vary between the stats because they kind of are the supporters in some kind of way. But that's usually dealing with skills and all of that good stuff, and we'll get into that in a later video. So let's move on to what we have going on in our challenges. So I wanted to do this one for the Giant's Keep. Let's unlock this one that says clear the first floor. We've done the first floor already. We're a little stronger from what the last one. See, we have the second floor unlocked. So all we got to do is clear the first floor in order to unlock the challenge. Okay, now we have the challenge added. We can actually start doing the challenge. So yeah, we got all this nice little dialogue, and this is cool because the challenge is one of the new things that they added into the game. And in my original version of Back to Square One, this didn't exist, so you didn't have this real great early game progressional guide like they provided themselves. You didn't have that. It take it for people like myself and other YouTubers and streamers to give you the information you need to progress and get into that next level in the game. So for this one in particular, we're going to do what we can. So now all we have to do is view for this first one. We get a very important monster that you will be needing, Shannon the Wind Pixie, that is recommended for your progression in this game, which is the Giant's progression. The first thing that you're gonna really need to work on. So this monster is critically important for you to have in your start in this game, and we'll get into details why after. So all we have to do is view the strategy of the Giant's Keep, and we should be able to achieve the monster. So let's go ahead back into the battle and go right back into Kyra's dungeon. And we're gonna go into Giants, so we wanna check out the monsters that's used. The commonly used monsters, Blase Splee. You see Shannon's up here at the top. It's up here towards the top of the listings. Very important monster. And it shows, and we check the items that drop. So we're going to click on here, and it shows you everything that you can get from the Giant. Despairs being the rare set that drops the least, really important and critical to have. You can get Energy, Fatal Blade, and Swift. So all those basic sets you start off with when the game starts, because that's all you're going to need for a long time. and all the other things. And no matter what anyone tells you in videos and all that other stuff of how they build things for your early game progression, this is all you're going to need, is these rooms specifically. You can dibble and dabble in other rooms, but this is going to help you climb faster than anything else will. Believe me, the struggle is real. I've been there. You don't want to make the mistakes I did. Then you can get room pieces for room crafting, which comes later on. I believe level 20 is when you unlock, or 19. Then you got symbol of harmony and symbol of transcendence, and then the symbol of chaos, if it goes up yet. That you can also get, in these you use to craft alongside room pieces to create rooms like these, which will come in later. So we checked all of that stuff out. Now let's go back, and now it's completed. So we're gonna collect our reward, and we gotta go to our inbox to get her. So what's next? We gotta clear the 3rd floor. We're not gonna worry about that right now. So let's check our chest. We got a few things in here. Oop. Let's collect. And now we have Shannon the Wind Pixie. We're gonna lock her because we're gonna need to use her and level her up. And she's already awakened, which is a great thing. You don't have to worry about any of the awakened materials. She has her 3rd skill unlocked from being awakened, which is the importance of having her. Pep Talk, increasing the attack power and the defense of all allies for 3 turns. If you remember in the previous video where I was speaking about the beneficial effects, that's going to greatly help you. You're going to need the defense buff, most importantly for the giant progression. And then her 2nd skill says Decelerate, attacks all enemies, decreasing their attack speed for 2 turns with an 80% chance on each target. And then you have these things down here on when you level her up by feeding other pixies to her. The harmful effect rate, which is the chance of the slow happening, which is that 80%, goes up by 10% and maxes out at 100% on level 5 on this skill. Then her 1st skill, Spirit Ball, attacks the enemy with an energy ball that attacks. The attack has a 50% chance to increase the enemy's chance of landing a glancing hit for 2 turns, so it causes the enemy to miss. The harmful rate can go up a little bit on that. It doesn't max, but it can go up some. So these skills are real important to making sure that the enemy is slow and they're not dealing out a lot of damage, which makes her a real important monster to have. And it's a good thing that they give her to you, when in the past you had to pretty much farm for her. But she's not hard. She's only at a natural 2-star monster, so she's not difficult to get. It's just you don't have to worry about going through all the trouble of awakening her now. So let's go on to the Mount White Lagoon. So I believe this is all we need right now for this portion of the video. Mount White Lagoon. I give this its own section for the scenario because this is something that I've recommended for a long time, and I still do recommend to new players. Is when you start progressing, Mount White Lagoon is where you get your Swift set. You're going to need, at the minimum, 3 Swift sets to start with. One is going to be for the Light Inugami Bella Dion, which we're going to talk about that monster in a later video. Bernard the Wind Griffin, if you actually kind of saw the next part of the challenge for the giant, was to complete the 3rd floor, which give you Bernard the Wind Griffin before you had to farm to more desert to get them. Pain in the ass, takes forever, and still have to awaken a monster. So you're going to get them pretty much for free just for completing that stage and already awakened, so it's not going to be difficult. And then the last set will be for Konamiya, the Water Garuda, which I believe they do give you that monster, or maybe they don't, but either way, it's a 2-star monster. 2-star monster, you can get that monster out of the shop, or out of the magic shop, or from an unknown scroll, so it's not difficult coming across that monster. But as you complete the scenarios, you unlock the different levels of difficulty. Like now I got the hard difficulty unlocked because Mount White Dragon is completed, and you have hard, you have normal, hard, which is where I'm at now, and the hell mode, which you have to complete hard to unlock that. So essentially, you want to get to the hell mode, and the reason is because the harder the difficulty, the greater the rewards are. You're going to get more materials for crafting, and you're going to get stronger rooms, better quality rooms, and that's what you want. So we're going to go back to the normal mode. So when you start off, you want to just go ahead and get whatever you can get, just so you can just level up and kind of progress pretty quickly. But you're going to come back to here and you're going to farm White Dragon. And my favorite stage is the stage 2. The slot 2 is very important because you're going to be looking for a specific kind of room, which is a room with speed as the main substat. And I know as the main stat, not substat, main stat. And I know I haven't went into details about stats yet on rooms, but we could take a minute to go on into some of that, just a little bit, not too in depth, but you want to get that slot 2 speed, because it's going to be important for your supporter monsters, not necessarily monsters that have the type of support, but just the monsters like those 3 that I said previously, that requires to have them fast so they can do their job as best as they can. We're going to get into more details on to reasons why in a later video, but for now, this is going to be a place where you're going to want to farm this 4-set room. Swift rooms are 4-set at Mah-Lon White Dragon. Is really important and critical that you're able to do that, and able to do it on hell mode eventually. Not right off, but eventually you want to be able to do it on hell mode, so you can maybe get those 3-star rooms, then get the 4-star, but essentially that one rare 5-star drop that you should be able to get, and you want that speed as that main stat. So let's talk about the stats on the rooms anyway, since we're already this far into it. So each room has a main stat and has substats. And some of them are special rooms, if I can find one. Here we go, the quick room. Some of them are special rooms that has a substat that can't be leveled up or anything. You can't do anything with that substat. It's there permanently, and there's nothing that can be done with that. But we want to talk about the 1 slot, the 3 slot, and the 5 slot. Oops. 5 slot. The 1 slot, the main stat is going to always be flat attack. This will never change. The 3 slot will always be flat defense. That will never change. And the 5 slot will always be flat HP, which also won't change. Now for the 2, 4, and 6 slot, these do change. These do change. They can vary. Each one of these slots can have attack percent, flat attack, defense percent, flat defense, HP percent, flat HP. They can all have those as the main stat. But they also have special main stat. Slot 2 has speed, which we just talked about for Mount White Dragon, which is important to farm that hell stage. Once you get to that level on stage 2 to get that speed drop. And then slot 4 will give you crit rate and crit damage, which can boost your critical rate up so you can land more critical hits. Crit damage gives you more damage after landing critical hits, so crit rate will always be before crit damage, because if you can't land a critical hit, then the damage won't matter. But once again, that'll be something else we'll talk about later. And then for slot 6, you have accuracy and resistance. So the more resistant you are, the less debuffs that you will be under, and the more accuracy you have, the more debuffs that you can apply. So that's like the basics of those. And like I said, we're probably going to talk about runes in each video because it all leads back to what the runes do. So let's move on to the Kairos dungeon. Back in the daily missions where I was talking about, you have to complete the giant at least one time, as well as the magic dungeon one time, just to get that daily mission complete. Now the magic dungeon in particular, this gives you, this gives you a variety of items. You get, nope, wrong one. That's light. Okay, magic. You get essence. Essence is what you use to awaken your monsters. You have low, mids, and highs. They all drop. The higher you go, the higher the quality of essence drop. And you can get magic dust, which is also used to craft from that. And then you have the other attribute. The other dungeons, which are the attribute ones. Right now we're under all attributes, so able to farm all of them because of this special event on the weekend, which we'll talk about events later. So here you're able to get pretty much the same thing, but since it's the light dungeon, you're able to get light essence, magic dust, and angel mine. Now angel mines allow you to increase the levels of your monster, but if you use it on if you use this light angel mine on a light monster, it will increase the experience they get to level even further. And you also have a chance to open up special dungeons, which is called secret dungeons. Special dungeons, which is secret dungeons where you can farm for monsters and get other things that you may need. And then it's just the same thing, so forth and so on for each attribute. Then we have other special dungeons that like the Angel Garden, where you can farm for just only Angel Mine. The Rainbow Garden, where you get that chance to get the one good Angel Mine. They do the same thing for the Devil Mine as well. Then you have the Hall of Heroes, which is pretty difficult, but you're going to use your mentors or friend reps, if you have strong ones, to clear these for you. And then of course, yes, the secret dungeons, where you can get pieces for those. To summon monsters, you get for the secret dungeon monsters, I believe it's 20 pieces for 2-star monsters. 3-star monsters takes 40 pieces, and then for Hall of Heroes monsters, which are 4-star monsters, it requires 50 pieces, and you get 25 for each floor that you complete. So this is the basic rundown of the Kairos dungeon. You're going to start off working with the giant, because that's what you're going to need mostly. Once you get into an earlier mid game stage, or like the mid range of mid game or I'm going to do a video explaining that too. So I can't explain it right now without even confusing you more. But once you get into that level, you'll start working on the dragons, and then towards the later part of the end game, you will do Necropolis, which I will explain these in later videos. The most important thing will be the Giant's Keep. But before you do Giants, Mount White Lagoon is that place. Actually, the scenarios is going to be the place for you to start off, because you're going to be able to get those specific slots that you need. So once you go into Kairos dungeon and start farming, and a giant is going to drop random slots, random rooms, and also other items that you can receive. So you'll be able to fill in those pieces and get stronger rooms to improve your monsters and make them stronger. So now let's go on to the island. Alright, in the island, as you've been leveling up, if you've been paying attention, you've gotten a few things like your Temple of Wishes, where you can make a wish each day. Hopefully you can get something good. Chances are it's going to be garbage. I was lucky enough to get 100 crystals, but generally when you're early game, that's when you usually get the best stuff. Is once you start really leveling up and everything and get far into the game, then you just get garbage all the time. Well, you're going to get garbage all the time anyway, but you just won't be as lucky. Then another place that's pretty important is the magic shop. Once you unlock this, you kind of want to progress your magic shot, you start off with a few spots open. I bought this one already, and you want to eventually get all of these opened up so you can get the maximum amount of potential of good items. You can get scrolls in here. You can get scroll pieces. You can get other pieces of other kind of items that you could use. Runes, 1 and 2 star monsters. So there's a few variety of things that you can get here. And we're gonna unlock this one now, and we're gonna unlock this one so we can have it open. And this is not going to kill us, so we're just going to spend a little bit of crystals and unlock that. This is actually a pretty good monster. I'm not sure if we're going to need him right away though. They give us something that actually is and you can always get them another time. But yeah, eventually you want to get all of these opened up. No rush to getting them all open. Take your time, just farm up, level up, and eventually you'll get them open. Eventually. So there's just a few things, and you're gonna get other things along the way for your island as you go further. I just got an extra expansion, so it's more space to put more things on the island because you're gonna start taking up a lot of space with all the different buildings. Now let's talk about the events. The events, you want to check this box pretty much every day because there's always different events going on. They always got new things. Generally, when you open up the game, it shows you some of the events that's happening and everything. Like right now, we have the all attribute dungeons open. They're going to be doing a free energy for TOA, which is Trial of Ascension, which you unlock that at level 15. And we'll be talking about that later in the video as well. Then they had just done an update, a whole bunch of cool stuff. And then the main event that's going on for a few weeks, which is the Power Up Stone event, where you get these stones that help you progress your runes so they don't fail as much. But being an early game player, this is not quite as important, but you still want to do it, and you want to accumulate as many points as you can possible, because as you accumulate points, you get all of these various items for these amount of points. And at the end, you get one of these rare light and dark scrolls, which is critically important, and you want that. And then each day, you can collect energy. So you always want to check your events, because you never know what's going on in the event tab. So those things are pretty important. And then you have like all these different things right over here where you can buy the transmogrifications, which is aesthetic things, just pretty much visuals, like making your monsters new costumes, all that kind of stuff. And then you kind of get some crystals, some mana, some energy, just little stuff like that. When they have that going on, they have like paid events pretty much for the people that want to spend money. You can buy runes, which can increase your progression. So if you're the kind of person that like want to spend money and you want to progress really fast, buying runes is really helpful. Don't make the mistake I did, because I started out and I bought violent runes because violent runes is just the end all win all. Arguably the best runes in the game, but if you can't farm violent runes on the level of these runes, you're not going to be able to progress, and then you're going to struggle until you're able to, which that's what I end up running into. So your best bet would be to get runes that fall from the giant, like the Swift, the Fatal, Despair, the Blade runes, and the Energy runes. Preferably you will want Swift runes, because those are very important. So that will help you progress faster if you spend those. You can buy them 10 times. $30, $300, you're winning. And you get a decent amount of crystals, mana, and energy for all of it. So, I know this video is pretty long, and I packed in so much into one video. But I kind of want to just, get you guys in it, because there's so much early game content, so much that you have to learn and that you need to know. and I want to make sure that I get it all out there. So I hope you guys made it all the way through the video, because it's important. And even if you didn't make it all the way through the video, hopefully you came back to finish the video, because I'm doing this for you guys to learn and get up there with the rest of us and get strong and everything. Because this is a really fun game. It can be really enjoyable, especially once you get involved into the community, which we'll talk about that in another episode as well. So this is the Gamer Dude signing out. I'm probably not going to film another episode today. This is already 4 one day. I'm going to start working on the first one so I can get that out within the next day or so. And much love to you guys. I hope you're enjoying this reboot of Back to Square One. Back to Square 1.1. And see you in the next episode. And I'm out. Deuces.